Today, I come on here to preach the word of the Lord thy God, the word of truth, and to teach of the Bible. Some parts that we will be talking about today is going to be some parts of Revelation. What is, in my opinion, one of the most important books of the Bible, and, well, is one of my favorite books, other than Genesis. We will be starting off with this by talking about, I believe it's the seven trumpets, or more like the events that occur, the signs that we shall see or may see, most likely, before Christ is to come back, according to the book of Revelation. In the book of Revelation, it states that within the time of the last days, there may be multiple things that happen, including 1/3 of all forests shall burn down, 1/3 of water will turn red or will turn into blood. And before all pain goes through and all things end up coming to a certain part or point, there'll be kind of like a state of peace. But after that state of peace, there will be pain, technically. In Revelation, it states that there will be a seal, and I'm not sure if it's like literal or, and this seal shall not be able to be opened by any man nor anything, but there shall only be one that can open that seal, and that one shall be God or Jesus. I'm be honest, I'm telling you from memory. Also, it also says in the book of Revelation that the, I'm trying to remember what it was called. It's a river. It's gonna dry up completely. I forgot exactly what the name of the river was though. It is, I just have Revelation playing in the background. I can't quite I can't quite hear it completely. I just have it playing in the background. King James version specifically. Just because I think it's interesting. Why can't I remember which river it is? Wait, I should have written notes in the game, honestly. I'll be honest. This is what happens when y'all don't write notes, guys. I remember a good bit just from memory. See, right here, it says the seven seals and the golden pincers. So, in other words, there'll be seven seals, and each seal and then each seal does something. Oh yeah. Wait, I remember. I remember. So I just like I looked at the textures now, and I didn't get to that part, but I believe I remember exactly what the seven seals are. So what seven seals are is I believe every time when one of the seven angels blow a trumpet, one of the seals are broken, and then one of the things happen. One of them being um, a flock of locusts coming upon the earth, or more like it's kind of like locusts. They come out of the ground, and yeah, a flock of them too, like a big flock. And in Revelation, it also says that I believe it was. I'm trying to remember what that river was called. The I apologize for forgetting what the river was called, guys. The I need to learn to remember things. Wait, guys. Is it? Wait. All right. Yep. I had to go and look up a picture of it. I asked to figure out which one it was. I found out which one it was. It's the Jordan River. So it says that the Jordan River will dry up, and the only reason why I can remember what it looks like depending on a picture is because I generally go and look on Google Maps to see its status on how dry it is sometimes. But yeah, it says in the Bible that the Jordan River would dry up, and if you check Google Maps from like a good bit of time, you'll see that the Jordan River actually dried up a lot, like a lot. And in other words, like it's happening quick. And it also says that the moon would turn red and so on. Oh, and I also remember it said that there'd be a dragon that would be like, or a monster that would be defeated or something like that. My brain. I do remember my favorite part though. Don't worry, guys. I know what I'm talking about. My favorite part of that. My favorite part of Revelation, the like, the last part on it is like it explains what the new earth would look like after God technically destroys this one and then makes a new earth. They'd be, I believe it was like 9 gates, and each one being like a different type of material technically, and there'd be no need for any sun or moon because it would technically be always day over there, and there'd be no need for temples or places of worship because God would be there with us at all times, and He would be the light that keeps the whole place lighted because God's glory and beauty and power would light up the whole area. Actually, to think of it, probably light up a lot more also. And it's gonna be like a big. What I'm imagining it as is like a big city with like kind of like um. I'm trying to go based off of how the Bible describes it. Technically, a big city where all the people that worship the Lord would live, and they all stay in the gates of heaven. And they worship God for all of eternity. I'll be honest, that sounds like a paradise to me. By the way, I might as well show y'all some of this. Wait, might as well show y'all some of this. This is supposed to be the command center, and yet I don't know how to do it. Cause I'm not good at command blocks. It's supposed to be like command block right here. Two of them. One teleports you, and then one like puts a title. But then I don't know how to do that like properly. I only know how to do command block normally, as in like the command to TP or teleport people to a specific place. And I figured out how to do it where it'll face a specific direction, but I don't know how to put the text on the stream right after that, like as in like it goes in a sequence. I think I mentioned that last time. Anyways, I'm going to write in this book later. Okay. So, in Revelation, it says that in Revelation it says that technically there's evil spirits. That's the best way I can put it. Evil spirits underneath like that area, which is the Euphrates River, and once it dries out and like all seven trumpets, I believe, will blow. I believe it's all seven. Then the demons will be released. I'm pasting. Back and forth. I realize that playing Minecraft while preaching does not help anything. I mean, like, Minecraft wise, the music kind of distracts me sometimes. I try to focus on what I'm trying to say. Wait a second. Then why did? Or is it the sound effects that I don't know? My brain's trying to make use of what's in my hand, which is my controller. Um. Wait, guys. I'm thinking. I I forgot to do notes. Okay. Another book of the Bible. Let's go back to Genesis. Let's compare Genesis to I don't know. So look, the reason why I like Genesis and Exodus, not Genesis. I mean, Exodus is a good book though, but the reason why I like specifically the last and the first book of the Bible, or the first and the last book, is mainly because one's about the end times and one's about the beginning, and because they're both interesting, really, really interesting to me, like really interesting to me. So in Genesis, there's the account of creation, and also there's the explanation on how, or more like what was mankind's first sin. And that was when Eve got tricked by the serpent to eat of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, even though God told her not to. And then Adam ended up eating from the tree also. Then they get kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Then, well, they have children. And then I believe it was like the Cain and Abel story that came next. That comes next. And so I believe it was okay. Cain was, I believe, a farmer. Abel was a shepherd. And so when it came to like giving offerings to God, Abel gave a sheep, and Cain gave some some vegetables that he grew. God accepted the sheep, or Abel's offering, and then accept Cain's, and Cain got mad, and then he 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 unalived his brother. Yeah, I I'm not gonna say the other word. And and well, then God was talking to Abel and said, no, not Abel. Was talking to Cain and said, Cain, where did your brother go? And then Cain said, I don't know. He technically said, I don't know. Am I supposed to watch over him? And so, um, and so then God said, what hath you done? Your brother's blood calls to me from the ground, saying that technically that bro, yeah, he he unalive, bro. And so bro put a curse on him, a curse symbol thing on him technically, or more like he put a symbol saying that, like, if you are to, whoever is to kill Cain, they are to wander, or like something like that, wander across lands. It's something like that. I wish I remember. And then whoever killed him would have to, like, double the time that he did. He had to. Like, they ended up having the Mark II, something like that. Maybe I remember it wrong. I haven't read that story in a while. The point is that Jesus loves you. Yeah, yeah, that's the most important point. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I said and building in the title of the stream, so I'm not gonna just like sit there the whole entire time because I feel like I'm gonna end up just sitting there and talking the whole entire time, which I want to do, but I put building in the name of the stream, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna build a little bit too. I don't think I've done anything since last stream, guys. No, no one's there except for that one person that's always here. Probably the same person, honestly. Why did I do that? That's how you get two books. That would not work in real life. That would not work in real life. Wait. Oh, it was banishment from his family's land. That was the curse that he had. So he had to wander around. And anybody, I believe it was like anybody who killed him, they'd have to wander and be banished for a longer, like double the time that he was. He had to wander upon the earth. Talking about Cain, by the way. So yeah. Now I'm like I'm gonna go to working on work what working on some stuff. All right, my eyes. Dun, 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 dun. This stream is probably gonna be decently shorter than the last one. Mainly because I don't want you to like end up having to just sit there and just like watch me build the whole time. I don't know why I haven't done any more work on this since I don't know, I'm bored. Not really bored, more like I don't know. Oh, did I? Um, okay then. Right here, and then now, honestly, next time, hopefully, I'm gonna prepare a lot better, so that I can genuinely give you a decently long message that isn't just technically me trying to remember everything. I'm gonna have to look at this stuff more to make sure that I give y'all more information. I need to be better at preparing. I think I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to do it like this. I'm confusing myself. I'm confusing myself. Huh? 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 Buddy, you good? Buddy, you good? Huh? Huh? There you go. Every stream of the preaching series, I'm gonna end up at least doing a little bit of this. So I gotta add building in the description for the YouTube video too. I'm not good at explaining stuff sometimes. But you always gotta trust in Jesus. No, sadly, I don't have the I don't have um the stuff to make it multiplayer. More like I'm I I I don't have. I'm playing on an Xbox and I don't have Game Pass, so. Yeah. But welcome to the stream, though. I'm working on the build of heaven. Yeah, I know it is. It does kind of suck. They used to not have it like that, like back when Xbox One first came out, but I don't know why they did that. Probably just to get some more money. Hope I didn't miss anything. Hello, Jesus, yes I do. Welcome to the building part. Where? You know, one of my favorite verses, like mainly like the ones that came from Jesus himself, from the New Testament. It's just mainly the one that where he says to love your enemies, because that shows like you shouldn't show hate to others, but instead you should love them, and even if they do something wrong to you, you shouldn't do something wrong back to them. And you should control your anger because God wouldn't want you to anger. I mean, unless if in certain situations, because Jesus did get mad at those people that were trying to use the temple as technically marketing. Which is it's very, very valid rage right there. I watched a video on that. Apparently, apparently, the reason why he got so mad was not only because they used it as the temple as marketing, but also because the coins that they used had like the faces on them of like the Greek kings and stuff. Ah, yeah. Um, but the reason why I'm just saying the reason why he got mad was because they used coins that had like the people's faces on it, and he saw that as um idols, so he got mad at that because, well, according to the Bible, you aren't supposed to worship idols or idol imagery. The most interesting part of the Bible, one of the most interesting parts, is the fact that like every single time when one of the angels come up to somebody, they always say, "Do not fear." Most of the time, people don't understand why they say that because the way that people depict them today isn't actually accurate to the biblical accounts. The biblical accounts, the biblical accounts, according to, I think it was like the Old Testament. Um, I think it describes it somewhere in the Old Testament. But according to the biblical accounts, there was the seraphim, the cherubim, which those I'm pretty sure stay closer to God. And then there's the ones that are like closer to like normal angels or stuff that we classify as like normal angels. But then most of the angels actually have more than one wing. Most of them have, in fact, I believe it was like the cherubim, I think. Yeah, that's technically why they'd say that to not fear because they have multiple eyes. One of them, yeah. So for instance, like I think archangels might look different, mainly because like they're closer to God also, but then like most of the time they're the ones that are depicted in the Bible. Most people, I'm pretty sure he is one. Um, Gabriel, the messenger angel, I'm pretty sure he might be one. I know Michael is. He's the archangel that um leads the battles. He's technically like the one that leads the battles of the angels, the armies for God, and he's under God's commandments, of course, his God's rule. And there was a whole entire thing like, yeah, I guessed so. But so there's a point, I can't remember exactly who they were answering like prayer message for, but so there was a messenger angel and they were fighting a it was the king of Persia, but like it wasn't like a human, it was a demon technically. And the when the messenger angel got to the dude, he said that Archangel Michael came to help him, and that's why he ended up getting there at the point which he did. And he said that he wouldn't be able to stay for long because he has to go back to back up Michael, which shows that like beyond the realm of which we can see in the spiritual realm, there's battles happening constantly in between the angels and demons, stuff like that. Also, I'm pretty sure that it was him, but like one of the archangels that told the flock of sheep that are like the shepherds that Jesus was or the king was born. I believe Gabriel was within that group of angels. I mean, but honestly, angels, in my opinion, other than like how most people would probably see them, depending on the description, I think they look kind of cool because like one of them, I can't remember. I think it is the cherubim, or maybe it's the seraphim or one of the other ones. But it's legitimately like golden wheels with multiple eyes. And then there's another one that has like I believe like four wings and it's just a big eye in the middle. It's actually pretty interesting how like God made them look. I think he betrayed Jesus for that 30 silver because, well, I think it was based off of like mainly. Well, I'm trying to think how to explain this. So, the way that they saw it back then is that, well, Jesus, first of all, Jesus, of course, already knew that that was going to happen. But he let it happen because that was according to God's will. The reason why Judas ended up doing it is most likely because he was either, I'm guessing, tempted in some way, or he genuinely just wanted the money, which kind of asks the question like, why would you go that far just for 30 silver though? Because I think someone did the math, and I don't think that's actually like compared to today's money. I don't think that's actually like that much. I watched someone do the math, but I can't quite remember how much it would be. Or maybe it is that much. But like I'd think that I know for a fact I wouldn't have. It was most likely honestly for the reasons of like he was probably greedy and just wanted the money in general. I'm honestly I'm not quite sure. I'd have to go and check at that specific part. But I do remember he said something like, I know that one of y'all are going to betray me, so the one that is going to go and tell the soldiers. Because he already knew that it was going to happen. And he let it happen because that was according to God's will. So that he can die on the cross to pay for all of our sins. Let's see. Oh, okay, wait, so John 13:27. And after this sop, Satan entered into him. Then said Jesus unto him, that thou doest do quickly. Yeah, so technically, yeah. Yeah, technically, so in other words, it was technically a temptation by the devil. So Satan, I'm guessing, manipulated him into doing it or convinced him to. And he was probably overcome with greed by the fact of like the money part. And because he was overcome by that greed, he ended up giving up Jesus's location the to the guards, the people that he ended up giving it to. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing right now. Oh yeah. Yeah, because well, according to the Bible, God is all knowing, and since Jesus is God's son, and technically they are one, that would mean that he would already know and be aware of what's going to actually happen. Since it also mentions Jesus in Revelation as being the one that has been before time and has been at that moment. So, and that will never die. For because in Revelation, in one of the first verses, which I'm gonna say the angel that sense is probably Jesus, depending on like the way that it says it. Because it says that, so the angel, so let me find it. See, it says in Revelation 1:8, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, saith the Lord. So I'm not sure if like that's the angel of the Lord or if that's just like God himself saying that. But I think it is most likely God himself right there. Or maybe it's just an angel. Never know. But the fact that it said, saith the Lord, And the fact that it says the Alpha and the Omega. And, well, by that logic, the fact of which he already knows what's going to happen, that means that technically he would have already known that Judas was going to betray him and that was going to manipulate him. Or, in other words, yes, Jesus did get resurrected. He got resurrected exactly 3 days after he got crucified on the cross. And I believe the first people that saw him was some women that were passing by, and they witnessed an angel move the rock. Or at least it says in the Bible, an angel had moved the rock, and that's how Jesus ended up getting out of there. And honestly, um, after after he does, I do in fact believe in the rapture. In fact, in fact, I really am generally waiting for when the rapture happens. It says in the Bible that actually the people who have died that followed Christ in their life will go first, and then the ones that are alive will go after. Yes, probably, most likely. Depending on how things have been lately, most likely since, like, in my opinion, there could probably be found a lot of signs today showing that it's gonna happen. Tribulations. So, how it's gonna work is technically so. Um, After, I believe, I'm not sure if it's like after or before that point of when everybody's called up, all the church is called up to um go to heaven with the Lord. But there's gonna be like an 1,000 year time period of peace, and then everything's gonna be like, it starts going cuckoo. I believe that's how it's gonna end up happening. Since like that peace represents, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I accidentally added an extra one. Oh well. But that peace represents that time period of which before, kind of like how people say there's usually peace before the storm. That's technically what it is. Like there's legitimately peace before it all starts falling apart. like, or maybe, like, I'm not sure if that's gonna happen, like, right before or after. You can continue asking me questions if you want. And by the way, just to completely answer your question straight up, technically, yes, people would be like people that aren't with like followers of God. Yes, technically, yes. So so yes, so technically that is right. There will be a period of time which that would happen, and the let's just say a lot of pain would come, like a lot of people that at that point, I don't know how to explain this. I don't know how to explain this part. I'll be honest. Okay, wait, I need two more. Okay. So technically, it's like this. So it's going to be where the Antichrist is going to try to force upon a mark onto everybody. Those who don't accept that mark, would there'd be pain caused upon them, technically. I'm gonna have to look into that. It might say that. I don't 100% remember. But I do know that it mentions something about like two specific people being um brought back to witness the tribulations and stuff, or like to witness how things are going, I believe. I hope I'm remembering that properly. And so the thing is, technically I wouldn't, I'm gonna look into that, like, to check on that, and probably on the next preaching stream I'm probably going to address that if I do look into it. Or I could probably look it up right now, actually. Wait. Wait, I'm looking it up. Okay. Okay, so yes, that will happen. Let me see. So it says in Revelation 11:3 in the King James version, it says, "And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 clothed in sackcloth." And I think that's it, talking about what you're talking about. Any more questions? May I ask? I'm pretty sure saints are actually qualified as, like, at least according to like the logic of which it would most likely be. Yes, that's actually exactly like what it says in Revelation, technically within a specific time period in Revelation, or like specific text in Revelation specifically mention that. I do remember that. Um, but saints count as technically anybody that praises God, worships Him, follows Him. So technically, the the Antichrist is either one of two figures. It is estimated that the Antichrist is either Satan himself or one of Satan's followers, or more like his person that he's manipulating in a way of which to make them think that they're, in my opinion, it's more like he convinces that person to do his bidding and to try to manipulate the world into thinking that that person is actually good and that person is Jesus, but in reality that person isn't Jesus. And the Antichrist thing is technically like they're evil and they work for Satan, but they're claiming to be good, but they're not actually. So, in other words, they're claiming that they're Jesus, but they're not Jesus. Which it also says in the Bible that a lot of people will fall for that. But some, which are those which truly believe, and those which would be able to actually tell, because like based off of like they actually trust God, not everyone that studies the Bible is good. Not everyone that studies, not saying that anyone that studies the Bible is bad, but some people that study the Bible use it to trick others into thinking that they are Christians, but in reality, they aren't. Or it's more like some of the people that think they're Christians, but they actually aren't. They don't understand that what. Wait, let me see what you're saying. You would think that it would give the Antichrist an advantage if he read the Bible, since he knows what's coming. But most of the Bible, you actually have to understand, like, because there's a lot of wording that could probably like make some people confused if they don't like understand some other parts of the Bible also. But you have to think about it this way. Wait, okay. Not all of them. Some of them are still going to trust him just because, well, he says that he is, but even though that he's lying to them, they're still going to trust him, because that's technically what the devil does. He manipulates people. Same for the fact of like the devil is, his whole entire thing is he's good at manipulating people. He he works off of lies. And that's why most of the people that he does in fact like mostly try to control, he works from the lies that they build up, like over time technically. Like the anger that they build up also, he will use against them also. So like that anger and the pain and the suffering that you may have like experienced from the past, he can use that, or try to use that, for like his own evil tricks that he tries to pull on people. So since he's so good at manipulating, some people might not actually be wise enough to like realize that that's not who, like, he's not who he claims he is. But the people that trust in God and that know that, like, oh, that's not, that's obviously not God, then obviously they're not going to follow the Antichrist, because they're going to be able to actually tell, because they trust in God and they'd know and be aware of if God would have came back already, because they'd be aware of his presence. They know what it would be like at least like knowledge, acknowledge that fact in some way, and they just be able to know, because, well, the Bible even says that those who truly believe will know and be able to tell of the temptations of the devil, but those who don't will end up falling into those temptations and end up falling into the darkness that the devil falls into. Oh, I'm streaming. My moderator said bro's writing. Alright, you have any more questions for me? Not really. You're welcome. You ever have any more questions? Um, doesn't matter what type of stream I'm streaming. I'm probably gonna answer them if you show up in the stream. Yeah, I know. All right. Hope you have a great day. I enjoyed answering those questions. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be honest, guys. After I'm done with working on this, I'm going to go and log off. I'm probably gonna make another stream later. But guys, remember, um, if y'all ever want to come into my chat on Twitch live and ask me questions, or even ask me questions in the chat of YouTube, I do check my stuff, my comments and stuff every once in a while. So remember, y'all can put questions and stuff about whatever y'all have questions about relating to the video in the comment section. 'Cause I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all guys. I love it when someone asks me questions about stuff midstream. I'm be honest, because I get to answer questions as long as it isn't too personal. I'm gonna finish this, guys, and then I'm going to log off. Let me just, okay, and then okay. Once I'm done with this wall real quick. Alrighty then. Alright. Alrighty, guys. Hope y'all have a great day. And I hope y'all all enjoy the rest of y'all day. And y'all week, month, year, everything technically. Alrighty then. I'm gonna end the stream right here. Alright. So I hope y'all all have a great day. Let's end this with a prayer. Dear Lord God, I pray that you protect everybody that watched this. Thank you for this message today, and I thank you for the questions that was asked of me, and I thank you for the blessing of me being able to answer those questions, Lord. I pray that you bless those who have watched this stream, and I pray that you bless those who have watched the video on YouTube. And I pray that you bless them all, and I pray that you make sure that they all stay healthy, Lord. In Jesus Christ's name, I pray, amen. All right, guys, let me get off the thing, and all right, and goodbye.